Hey everybody, I'm Tom Vasel and welcome to Look Back. This is a series of videos I do where I talk about reviews that I did this week, 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, and 20 years ago. And I tell you what I think about the games now, if I think about them at all. So let's go back, to 20 years ago. And I took a look at Polter Dice. Polter Dice, I remember at the time, okay, funny pun name I guess, maybe now it'd be more, but it's like dice in a house and there's tons of dice, they're not quality dice. But the game itself just isn't very good. 5 out of 10. Vabank, 20 years ago, and it's still one of my games. I actually don't remember what I rated it 20 years ago. It's definitely gone up. I think I started at an 8. It's an 8.5. Who knows? But I love this game so much. It is one of my favorite convention games where you're just trying to outbluff everybody else to get money at gambling tables. All right, 10 years ago, I reviewed 5 Cucumbers. This is a little card game from Friedman Freeze, and I hated every second of it. It felt like every move of the game was scripted. Blech. A lot of people like it. I'm not one. 3 out of 10. Space Sheep. So Space Sheep is a game that, it's such a weird product, this game. It's a cooperative Rubik's Cube is the best way to describe it. And it has, the spaceship theme has no thing, the Millennium, it's just like it's a weird product, and I don't think almost anyone I've taught it to has liked it. A few people have. I thought it was okay at best, but my opinion of it has gone down. 4 out of 10. The Witches, a Discworld game. This is an interesting thematic game about part of Discworld with these witches. There's some interesting ideas here, but it's okay. 6 out of 10. Glass Road. Yeah, I know, an Uwe Rosenberg game that I'm not gaga over. I know a lot of people like this one, but it just feels like there's a little bit more missing from this game. It feels a little, well, it's boring, I guess is the best word. But I know a lot of people enjoy it, but for me it's a 6 out of 10. Carcassonne, South Seas. I like the different Carcassonne series of games. It's weird to think that this one's 10 years old already. Yeah, I like it a lot. It's just a nice sideways thing. I don't know how often I'd play it over regular Carcassonne, but I give it a 7 out of 10. Level 7, Omega Protocol. So this is essentially XCOM the game. More so than XCOM the game is. XCOM the game. This is a game in which there's a bunch of troops, and you go through and you're fighting aliens who feed off your fears. Really cool fear mechanism. There's some really good aspects to this game in that you don't really level up in this game. You're just going through. You might find more ammunition, but that's it. And it's really good. It's too long, I think. And it hasn't aged in 10 years as well as I wanted to, but I still think there's some goodness to it. But it is now an 8 out of 10. All right, 5 years ago, I reviewed Discovered Lands Unknown. This came out at the same time Keyforge did, which in a moment I'll talk about. But this was a board game where every single board game in the world is different. They all are randomly generated. While that works for Keyforge, kind of, it does not work for Discover Lands Unknown. It's a really terrible game where the theme feels so pasted on. Craziness. 4 out of 10. The River, a Days of Wonder game I did not enjoy. This is just a very, very, very basic worker placement game. I didn't find it enjoyable. 5 out of 10. Monopoly Gamer, Mario Kart. Well, this is Monopoly, and it's Mario. Seems like a terrible combination, but there's some just interesting things going around the board, collecting coins. Think of it as a kid's game, and it's enjoyable. 6 out of 10. Nyctophobia. This is another 6 out of 10 for me. I love the idea of this game more than the game itself, where this game brings real fear into the game, where you are moving around blindly on a board. You're all blindfolded, and one person will move your hand sometimes to show you where then the person who can see is the killer. It's a cool idea. Really cool idea. It's just an okay game. 6 out of 10. Catch the Moon. This is a game where you stack ladders. It's a beautiful game, and it works as a dexterity. 7.5. Gingerbread House. This is a Phil Walker Harding game where you have your gingerbread house trying to get people to come in and it's more of a tile-laying game. The theme is superfluous, but like Phil Walker Harding games, this one's good. 7.5. Combo Fighter. This is an 8 out of 10. This is a really good 2-player brawl game where you're playing cards back and forth. It's so fast. It really beats up on the other ones. No pun intended. I like it a lot. They just released some new decks for it. Keyforge, Call of the Archons. Now this one I struggle with where to rate it, and I'm coming down. I'm going to give it a 7. I gave it an 8 initially. Keyforge is a game where every deck in the world is different. So you buy a deck, you can't modify your deck, you play it. It feels like a little Magic the Gathering He actually a little bit like Lorcana that's come out these days, but just with bombastic big cards. Really neat idea. I bought a lot of decks for this, but I'm starting to fade on it. The game is cool. The theme is fine. Yeah, I still enjoy it, but I'm not as, when a new set comes out, I go, interesting, and that's about it. Azul Stained Glass of Sintra, 8 out of 10 for me. This is my favorite of the Azuls. It's definitely the meanest, and also, in my opinion, the prettiest combo. But I really like this little mean aspect, and the fact that you can pass on a turn makes a big difference. And Raccoon Tycoon. Oh man, is this a great game. It looks like Victorian animals dressed up, and but the fast selection. Glenn Drover did a great job here with quick, snappy turns, where you just do something really quick on your turn. There's a follow-up to this Lizard Wizard that's fine, but not nearly as good. Raccoon Tycoon is where it's at, 8.5. Last year I reviewed Helsinki, another kind of polyomino game that just was okay, 6 out of 10. Toletum. This is one of the T games. There's a lot of cool ideas in this game, but I found it to be more tedious than not. It's another 6 out of 10. Perfect Shot, about taking pictures of animals. It's close. Looking, seeing what holes you think you'll be able to, what card you can place to see. You look through these holes to see animals like a camera. It's a neat idea. It's close, 6.5, as is Fish Tank, which is where a game where you're placing fish into a grid. There's a lot of cool grid games, and this one's almost another 6.5. Fun facts. I like this the most in the Dice Tower Studio. This is not like this much by everybody else, where you say different things, and you're going to say, I like carrots the most. What percentage, how much I like carrots, 0 to 100. You write it down, and then you're guessing where you lie compared to everybody else. Basket Boss. This is about owning a basketball team. This is the reprint from All Play Games, and it's a really, really cool game. I'm glad it was reprinted. Love it. 8 out of 10. Monolith. Monolith is a game in which you are placing three-dimensional blocks down on a board. There's a lot of these games out there, and I enjoyed it. I initially gave it 8, but I think it's coming down to a 7, but I still like it. It's just that it's hard for this one to stand out in a crowd. Green Team Wins, a party game where everyone is trying to be on the team that wins, which is the green team. You all want to get the same answer. 8 out of 10. Federation. I love this. Big, involved Euro, bright colors, moving up tracks, lots of wonderful different decisions to make. Worker placement, where the side of the worker matters and where you place it matters in 2 different ways. So many good things about Federation. 9 out of 10. And Dune Imperium Immortality. This is I think the first expansion for Dune Imperium. Really enjoy this one. I said I would never play Dune without it, although now that the new Dune is out, that's confusing because I might play that one without it, or I might play Dune X with it. Either way, it's still a great expansion. 9.5. So those are reviews that I did 1, 5, 10, and 20 years ago. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Tom Vasel. We'll see you next time.